And we can get into questions. If you have any questions, you can answer, you can ask them in the Q&A. So Kyle's first question, want to let us in? Yeah, no problem, did that. Okay, next question. Are you based in Calgary, or do you have a team in Calgary that does your due diligence? We are based in Toronto. We have partner agents that we deal with in Calgary. And as Kyle said at the beginning, he is a registered sales agent in Calgary and Alberta as well.
But this is where we do our own due diligence as well. We're all heavily invested there. We wouldn't put our money into a market or opportunity that we did not truly believe in.
And not just our money, our
family's money. That's right.
My parents' money. So yeah, I did the research. We all did the research. But yes, there is due diligence that's done.
Yes, my brother's closing on his first Calgary investment next week.
Nice.
And he's been calling me. So yes, our family's money. Okay, so great question. Why is it more expensive to invest in downtown compared to the east? What are some of the pros and cons when comparing both areas? Now, Kyle, I know you get this question, I'm sure, a lot. Why don't I give it to you?
Yeah, location, right? Downtown Calgary is your AAA prime location. Long term, I don't think you can go wrong with any urban center. Even though COVID, we did see people leaving, people still want to be in downtown walkable locations. And I think we're going to see that grow more and more, as time goes on. The benefits of East Calgary is that, number one, it's only about 12 kilometers to downtown. That's Horizon and the Hazelwood projects. That's like the 401 and 427 to downtown Toronto. That's how far we're talking. It's not even Mississauga, Oakville, Burlington. Like, that's how close it is. It's nothing, less than a 20-minute drive. But the price point is about 40% less. So significant cost savings there. For Horizon especially, though, it's a brand new community. The entire east part of Calgary is being completely redeveloped. It's 3,000 acres, 60,000 new residents that are going to be built there, but it's not just a suburban community. It's integrated workspaces as well, transit stops every 400 meters. There's already about 1 million square feet of retail. So it's just really your downtown urban AAA location versus a more up and coming urban environment. Which one is going to perform better over the long term? I have no idea. But if real estate in Calgary is going up, they're both going to benefit from that.
And as the city starts to grow, like the point you just made is the gap, that 40% gap, it will get smaller, because you are going to be within a 20-minute drive to downtown, and you have all the amenities, maybe not the nightlife per se, but you're going to have all the amenities, all the things that people really want to be around. They're already going to be there. So that gap, I believe, will shrink.
And we have all invested in the East Calgary area, but this is where you have the opportunity to invest in downtown Calgary today. I missed that opportunity in Toronto. I sold my condo, and it's one of the biggest regrets that I have, because everyone is really priced out of that market unless you're putting a significant deposit down to make the numbers work. So this is your chance now to invest in downtown Calgary in a project that's cash flow positive with a rental guarantee that you have until 2030.
Yeah, it's no stress. There's a great question here. Why is no one talking about Edmonton? I have a great answer for that. When I look again, the 4 largest economies in Canada: Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary. When I look at the economic capitals, Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Calgary. Population capitals: Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary. Calgary has the second most number of head offices in Canada after Toronto. It has the infrastructure for the high-paying jobs. On top of that, when I look at with the airports, the airport situation with the WestJet hub, after when I look at my 4 true international airports, is Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary. That's where head office will locate in Calgary. So people fly in directly to Calgary. So that's why Calgary is the economic capital, and that's where the money is going. You don't have the same influx of money that's going into Edmonton. So that's why I focus investing in Calgary versus Edmonton. There, I do see a cap in the ceiling of the values of where Edmonton can go versus where Calgary can go. Great presentation of portfolio. What debt to equity ratios would you target for your investments before pulling equity out for further real estate purchases? I don't even look at that. I look at, can the rent sustain the expenses on the property? So I don't really look at my debt equity ratios. I'm sure the banks do. I don't. I look at, I want to run roughly a neutral portfolio, neutral to slightly negative portfolio. Because if I look at what's going to happen over 30 years, I'm focused on 30 years. I'm not focused on today. I'm focused on 30 years. Now, you do have to factor in cash flow. You don't want to put yourself in an extreme negative cash flow situation, because that's bad. You know, because if something happens to you and you can't sustain the payments on those, then you have to sell. And you only lose money in real estate when you sell. So don't put yourself in a situation where you have to sell. So just monitor the cash flow. But if I have excess cash flow, I'm taking the equity out because I'm not looking at the cash flow today. If I'm positive, let's put it this way, if I'm positive $200 per month on a property, can that make a significant difference in my life? No. If I take equity out of the property, so I increase the interest expense to bring that to 0 or slightly negative level, and then I bought a second property, so now I have 2 properties going up in value versus 1. Can that have a significant impact on my life? Yes, it can. That's how I look at it.
And that's the single best way to grow your portfolio, is to use the equity in an existing property to go buy that second property. You don't pay any tax on it because you're just moving around debt. You haven't sold anything. And this is something that all of us can show each of you how to do to grow your own portfolios as well.
Alex has a quick video on that too that I'm sure he can share.
Oh yeah, go to the YouTube channel. There we go. I've been there are great videos there. I got some great 5-minute videos, that kind of thing. I will start producing more content. I had 3 kids in 5 years, or my wife had 3 kids. I'm just helping child rear them, so I got slow on producing the content on the videos. But yeah, there's some great content on the channel. These benefits exist in Calgary now. How long before growth drives change to align closer to the province like Ontario due to provincial greed and or sustainability? Well, if you want your prices to double, then that's not a bad thing if you own all that real estate. But here I say that, but I say that tongue in cheek. I don't expect the growth in Alberta or Calgary to be what I've experienced in Toronto over 10 years. I don't have that expectation. All I look at, positive cash flow, population growth, economic growth. And what happens after that is all gravy to me. And I just look at a 3% compounded annual growth rate. That's what I look at. Can things happen more than that? Absolutely. I bought a house in Calgary. That video is on the YouTube channel. Bought a house in Calgary in 2021. Freehold house, new construction. Bought it in March 2021, completed in March 2022. I sold it in April 2022. And I sold it for $200,000 more than what I paid for it. Did I expect it to go up that much? No, I didn't. I had no idea. I honestly had no idea. But I knew the reason I bought it, because there was going to be significant cash flow on it. The house was going to rent for $3,500 per month, and I paid $525,000 for it. I'm like, that's good cash flow. That's why I bought it. And then the price skyrocketed. That's what, and that house now would rent for 38, 39 versus the 35 I was originally budgeting. So if you buy with strong real estate fundamentals in mind, who knows what it's going to grow to. That's what I look at. Okay. Do you have houses as well? I kind of answered that. Yes. Now, where I say yes, Kyle and Nisha, no. Yes, I bought houses, but guess what? Houses are a pain in the ass. It's also one of the reasons why I sold the house so quickly. I saw a 200K bump when I bought it on cash flow fundamentals. But I'm like, do I want to be dealing with this? I'm in Ontario, and I know how many things can go wrong with a house. And everyone, I don't know how many people here actually own houses, but just think of the houses that you live in yourselves. They're a pain in the ass. Here's why houses are a pain in the ass. You have to deal with what's inside the house. You have to deal with what's inside the walls. You have to deal with the exterior walls and the exterior of the property. And then you have to deal with the land that the property's on. When I invest in a condo, I'm just dealing with a concrete box and what's inside that concrete box, which is generous appliances. That's it. Condos are much easier, and you can scale up a condo. Can you imagine having to manage 15 houses? 15 houses. That'd be nuts. But I got 15 condos, easy. Houses, be a nightmare dealing with all those. I'd be dealing with problems all the time. And the High Park triplex, well, it's a block away from where I currently live. So I can, and I used to live in that triplex. So that's why I have that one. That's a way. So yes, and houses, you can make a tremendous amount of money. I just give you an example. You can make a lot of money. And if you're asking what's the best investment, buy a house with a basement apartment in. That's your best investment. But it's going to be the most work. So it depends on what kind of investment do you want. Do you want an investment that you can scale up and own a whole bunch of them and not have to stress? Which that's most of our clients. Would you agree, Nish and Kyle? They're just like, I don't want to deal with this thing. I just want to make money. You will make the most money by buying a house with a basement apartment, but you will have other headaches to deal with.
Yeah, and it comes down to investment preferences, but we do have pre-construction condos, townhomes, semi-detached, detached, whatever you're looking for, we would have it available.
Yeah, great point, Cox. I didn't include that in the slide, basically because I didn't have the updated pricing on it, and I didn't want to say false pricing and cause problems. But we do actually have semi-detached homes. I guess we do have detached homes too. We do have detached homes. We have semi-detached and detached homes. Again, semi-detached, which offer the best value, semi-detached with a basement rental unit in there. Great cash flow. Great cash flow. It's going to be more work, but if you like the freehold, that's going to have your highest upside.
And one of the options that are available too, not with every freehold property, but there are incentives like free property management for a couple of years. So those are also things you can consider if that is the direction you're going to
go. For someone who has bought their first property and are looking to build a portfolio but do not have a lot of capital, what strategy do you use to satisfy the bank's requirements to secure financing for second, third, and fourth? Go get another job. That's an aggressive comment, but making money is part of it. So making money is part of securing mortgages. So you want to make sure that you are showing income to help secure mortgages. Number two, when you buy these properties, and this is the more important part than my tongue-in-cheek joke, is that the rent starts getting included in your income. So that's where cash flow becomes important. So you want to show the banks like, hey, this property is renting out for this, and it's going to cover this expense, this expense, this expense. And that's why we like Calgary, because the rent covers this expense, this expense, this expense. In Toronto, for me to be cash flow positive, I have to put 50% down on the property. There, I can still do it with the standard 20% down when I close. So the answer is it's a long and boring game. So if you see how aggressive my portfolio is, I went aggressive, but it was still over a 10-year period. Well, Kyle's probably a better example of taking it slowly. You buy one, a few years later, you're going to refinance it when the property's gone up in value, and then you go buy another, and then slowly you buy, you build, you buy, you build. So just think of it as a slower game. As you don't have to do it as quickly as I did. But the key point is you'd be refinancing property and taking capital out to secure the next pre-construction property. Again, that's the beauty of pre-construction, is that then you're not getting 4 mortgages in 3 months. If you want to buy 4 properties, you can spread those purchases out and time those for future years.
And also in Calgary, especially, you don't need the full 20% down right away. If it's pre-construction, the most you typically need in Calgary is 10%. There's even been some 5% projects. So it allows you to invest in a property with little capital down. Eventually, when you close on it, you will need that 20% down to meet the mortgage requirements, but that gives you more time to save up, and it allows you to get into an investment that you probably wouldn't have been able to otherwise. And then what most people don't know is the average person can qualify for multiple mortgages. So that's how you can start to really grow a portfolio. And working with a really good mortgage broker is key for this. So if you need a contact, reach out to us and we'll be happy to introduce you to partners that we personally use for our investment properties.
I'm going to answer this question. What if I absolutely have no money and only RRSPs? How would that work? You can use RRSPs, but you got to move into the property. So and here's the thing with the price points in Calgary, you could actually do that in regards to the affordability point. Just you would have to move into the property or talk to a mortgage broker, but that would be the option there.
Yeah, and you can move into the property and then start renting out some of the rooms as well. You know, be creative in it. Bootstrap for, yeah, exactly.
That's what I like again, 10 years. In my first condo I lived in, I bought a 2-bedroom. I rented out the second bedroom. My first house was a multiplex with a basement apartment, a main floor apartment, and an upper unit apartment. Guess what? The first one I lived in the basement. So that what you saw on that slide, that didn't start from day one. It was living in different environments, and that's slowly over time built things up. But I lived in the non-desirable units myself, and made sacrifices that way. Before I had 3 kids in 5 years. Yeah, please share your information slide again. Niche in the chat. Can you post our contact details?
Of course.
And it'll all be sent out.
Yeah. Again, this whole email
well.
this whole thing's being recorded. You're gonna get everything. You're gonna get everyone's email and everything like that. Can't answer that one. What about condo fees, townhouse fees? Yeah, there are fees in condos and townhomes, but guess what? They're less than what they are in Toronto. And here's I'll go back to my my comparing houses to condos. Condo fees don't bother me because I know I have expenses with my house. It just means that I have to pay them when the expense comes up. Whereas a condo fee, that's like a savings over every month. I'm just putting money away, and then the condo property management board will pay expenses as they go along. If you buy a house, you still have to pay for different landscaping things and everything like that. In a condo, it's just, again, you're just paying on a monthly basis. That's all. I've already invested with Truman on a condo in downtown. Is it investable to buy another? Well, Nish, you got 7, so yeah, go for it. No issue with that. I have myself, as I said, I have 4, and of my 4, 2 are downtown. So if I opt out of the rental guarantee, do you have a team that assists with property management, the renting of the unit at market value at the time of closing? Absolutely. We have a great team that can help you with that. What's the location of Imperia? It's 4th and 11th, right, guys?
Yeah.
And again, that information,
11th and 4th.
yeah, that information, all those more specific details will be included in the emails that's sent out. Can I get more details on the Imperial Horizon projects? Yeah, that will be sent out in the email. Horizon and Imperial have a different class. Horizon doesn't have all the luxury amenities Imperial has. Is that correct? Yes, correct. Imperial has a great high quality amenities. Horizon's a 4-story suburban building in the east of Calgary. So they're completely different classes of buildings, and we notice a different type of investor that's attracted to Imperia versus Horizon. And that's where it's great to have those 2 different options. If you're a downtown person and you want that high-end building with those high-end amenities. And remember, in a downtown core, there's only so much land, right? So there's a scarcity of land in a downtown core. That's what Imperial is going to offer. And then you have the suburban location, the affordable location with Horizon. Do you recommend a total exit from the GTA market? No, absolutely not. No, I'm not selling anything from the GTA market. GTA is now just in a different phase. GTA is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to appreciate in value. It's just that you're not going to get cash flow. So if you have existing assets in GTA, that's fine. You can just then refinance those assets if you bought them a while ago, and then look at investing some of the capital into the Calgary market. That's what we did, because we saw opportunity there. But I wouldn't sell, absolutely not. That'd be like you'd be selling your crown jewels. Your crown jewels are your GTA real estate. How do you get mortgage approvals when you buy multiple properties? When you work with a mortgage broker that's focused on investment properties, they know how to get mortgages on multiple properties. And again, as I said, these properties, they count the rent in your income. That's the key thing. The rent is part of the income. It's not that you're buying 5 houses for yourself to live in. The rent helps offset the cost, which allows you to qualify for these mortgages. But again, you're going to get an email if you want to speak with one of our mortgage representatives, which work completely independently from us, but it's a team that we work with. We can make those introductions for you. Why buy pre-construction when a resale condo is less expensive? Great question. How, I'm Kyle, I'll give this one to you, because you had a great post on this recently on Instagram. So no, I'm going to let you take that question.
Yeah, and it's a question that I guess I get asked all the time. And there's nothing wrong with buying an existing property or buying a pre-construction property. It's all about your investment preference. I only do pre-construction because I want to make my life as simple and easy as possible. In Calgary, I'm putting down a maximum of 10% down until closing. That's number one, leveraging my money 10 to 1, because I'm getting appreciation on the entire purchase price. So I don't need to go and put that 20% down that I eventually will. So I literally could buy 2 pre-construction units for that 1 resale unit. But again, it comes back to the fact that I really want to be a real estate investor. I don't really want to be a landlord. I want to delay that and push that off as much as possible, because that becomes emotional. You're dealing with people, stuff going wrong, that frustrates me. So with pre-construction, I don't have to worry about any of that. So, take Imperia, for example, that's a 2028 closing. You have 5 years where you're putting your 10% down and just sitting on it. That bugs some people, they're like, oh, my money's dead. It's just sitting there. I view it as the opposite way. I'm getting 10 to 1 leverage on that money. For every 1% it goes up, I'm earning a 10% return on my money. You cannot do that with any other asset class. But then as well in Calgary, you're getting the rental guarantees after that too. 2 additional years where it's virtually risk-free. The developer's worrying about renting out the unit, dealing with the tenant, all of that stress. So buying pre-construction, I can get a worry-free, very low-risk investment for 7 years for real estate. If I want to go real estate, yeah, you can get a better deal, but it's a used property essentially. It always costs more to build today than it did yesterday. A lot of the older buildings as well, especially in Calgary, were built 20 to 40 years ago. Most of the rental inventory is apartment buildings that don't nearly compare to the modern amenities of a condo unit that's being rented out. And when you're trying to attract a tenant as well, you want to focus towards the higher end of the market, because they have money. They're the ones going to be paying their rent. So for me, it's all about making my life as simple and easy as possible. Pre-construction allows me to do that. If you wanted to start getting cash flow right away and have your money working for you right away, so to speak, you can go pre-construction. Nothing wrong with that either, but I like pre-construction.
Kevin D, I sent you a direct message, but Kevin, yes, we do have duplex homes available in Rangeview with basement revenue suites. Again, our contact details are posted. You can email us more about that again, but you'll get an email from us too. I'm going to start going rapid fire because we've been on here for an hour and a half, and I want to respect everyone's time. Okay, so what is the builder's reputation with regards to the projected delivery delays? They're in the contracts. They give it's about a year period in regards to when they give for the project to complete. And they'll be completed of the projects within that year. Do the guaranteed rents increase over time? No, they don't. But again, if your market rent is significantly more than your guaranteed rent, then you just would opt out of your rental guarantee and then just not use the rental guarantee program and just rent it for market rates. Think of the rental guarantee program as an insurance policy for you get a minimum rent on the property. You don't need to take the rental guarantee. This one's a more detailed question. I'm going to read the question. But I would say message us more. We'd have that this is going to be book a call with us. But the question is, when you mean it's more work to invest in houses compared to an apartment, what are some of the factors that need to be considered? What type of expenses will you encounter with houses compared to an apartment? That sounds like you want to have a conversation about that. Message us directly and you can book a call with us. That could be 15, 20 minutes, 30-minute call that we talk about that. So if you're interested more in that, book a call with us. Is it worth signing on to the rental guarantee? Well, you're automatically into the rental guarantee when you do it. You could just opt out of the rental guarantee 90 days. I think they said it 90 days or 6 months prior to closing, something like that. So 90 days prior to closing, which they give you plenty of notice for closing, you can opt out of the rental guarantee. Do you help build portfolio, give advice, and what are your charges? No, we don't charge. Yes, we give advice, and no, we don't charge to build your portfolio. So book a call with us and we will give you guidance on how to build a portfolio, right, Nish and Kyle?
This is exactly what we do. You know, we don't want to sell you a property. We want to help you grow your portfolio over the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Airbnb allowed. Airbnb is allowed in Calgary. Assignments. Yes, you can assign, but there's no point in assigning. It doesn't make tax sense to assign. Again, I can get into a 10-minute conversation about that. You will always make more money buying, holding, and closing. Buying, hold. That's why I spend 20 to 30 minutes at the beginning showing the portfolio and value of holding over 30 years. So the answer is yes, you can assign. Makes no financial sense to assign. Happy to get into more details about that as someone wants to book a call. Okay. What are your thoughts on capital gains? If I buy investment real estate, I will get when I sell, I get a capital gains tax. So that's why I like to buy and hold and refinance. That way, I don't incur any capital gains. I only incur capital gains when I sell. But guess what? Capital gain tax is fantastic. You want to know why? It means I made money. So asking about the builder. So the builder has been around for 40 years. It's a multi-generational builder, Truman Homes. And they have a significant amount of completions under the belt in the city of Calgary.
And on their website as well, they listed dozens of projects that they've completed too. So you can easily find that.
What about the risks? This is a good question. So I'm glad this one's asked. I'm definitely going to address it. What about the risk of pre-construction purchases with the recent news with State View Homes in Vaughan? So State View Homes, for people that may not know, company that recently went bankrupt. Here's the key thing though. That was on the freehold properties. When you buy in freehold properties, your deposit doesn't go into a trust account with a lawyer. It goes directly to the builder, and the builder can use it. So when you're buying condos, your deposits are protected because they're in trust in a lawyer's account that the builder is not touching. In the case of State View Homes, those deposits were for freehold construction, so that money was in the builder's account, and that was. And then there was accounting irregularities and everything like that. But I can say this. If you go back to Truman being a multi-generational builder that's been around for 40 years, that has significant amount of completions under the belt and is one of the largest builders in Calgary, that's how you're protected. State View Homes was a new builder that hasn't built much. That's the way. If you look at the reputation of someone over the last 40 years, that's going to protect you.
Along with that, they have the resources as well for many things that smaller builders don't have.
Mm-hmm. Someone's asking about the Edmonton. We spoke of that already. Thank you guys. You're welcome. And again, if you guys have more questions, book a call. We're here to help. If I buy a condo in my name and at the time of closing, can I transfer my son's name? Kyle, we did that, didn't we? Yes, we did. Yes, the answer is yes, you can. We've had that happen. But I have an independent property bungalow purchased for 360 located in the southeast. Do you recommend selling and buying new projects? Is it legal 2 units and get 2,500 rent from it? I would say in that case, book a call with us. That's a very detailed question. We'll have to do some math for you. My answer initially be don't sell it, buy and refinance and buy some more properties. That's, you want to own more properties, but there's more details we'll need on that. So book a call with us. So my answer would be to don't sell, but still buy. Okay, I know you just mentioned that you said you don't sell GTA because it's crown jewels. However, in the rise of interest rates, I'm now cash flow negative on my rental properties. Any recommendation? Good question. I will elaborate. If you're in a non-rent control property, which is a property that was built after November 15th, 2018, specifically in GTA, then you can increase the rental rates are going up. There could be a chance that you could eliminate a lot of that negative cash flow by just increasing the rent, if you have the ability to. If the property was prior to November 15th, 2018, maybe you sell it. Maybe you sell it, and then look at reinvesting in something else. Because if you're stuck at a low rent, and I'll use examples for Pal and I, our Carnaby condos, and specifically my Carnaby condo. I had the original tenants in there for 6 or 7 years, and they were paying at points $750 a month less than market rents. Nothing I could do because that property specifically was rent control. And that was something I considered. Maybe I'll sell that because that's a dog in my portfolio and it's rent controlled. The tenant did eventually give notice, and I'm getting a higher rent on it now. So it depends, if you're looking more, and if you want to get non-rent controlled units into your portfolio. Again, it would take a deeper analysis of what the property is, and maybe it's something you want to get rid of or not. But generally, I'd say hold. So I'd say book a call and we can talk more about that. Do you folks have connections to other projects outside of Canada? I am actively looking for how I can replicate this in the US, but nothing has come across my plate as of yet. Biggest issue is financing when you get out of Canada, and then financing the properties. But it is something on my radar. Can a builder increase the price at time of closing? No, there's no escalation clause in the contract.
That's if you're working with Truman, so be careful.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you for that answer. Truman specifically, no. Other builders have escalation clauses in their contract. Truman does not have an escalation clause in their contract, so they will not increase the price on you. Do you have Tarion warranty? Alberta does have homeowner warranties, just not Tarion. Tarion's a Ontario provincial. They have their own warranty corporation out there. How does interim occupancy work? You basically go straight to close in Alberta. There is no interim occupancy. Yes, correct. They will not increase the price. Okay, we're almost there, guys. 2 more questions and then we'll wrap it up for everyone. Someone asking, how can we say the cost of living in Calgary is low when there's no rent controls? We don't say that. Stats Canada says that. So the federal government says that, not us. So the federal government says that the cost of living in Alberta is the second lowest in Canada, not us. We didn't make that up. So it's outside third party parties that are doing that, not us. So yes, just because I don't have rent control doesn't mean it's not affordable. Someone is giving me something about the deposits and coverage, and again, that's specifically for Ontario and everything like that. So how you're protected, your deposits are protected in Ontario. And we are done answering the questions. Oh, I got one here. The last question I'm going to answer. Alex, how many condos do you own in Calgary, and which ones do you recommend? I own 4. Niche has 7, and Kyle has 1. Kyle's a tortoise. But the tortoise wins the race over the hare. So, anything in Calgary that makes sense. We do like Truman because we know the quality of their build, and we know what we know that the projects are going to finish. I would say to get in a more detailed conversation with us about what we have and what's upcoming, book a call, Scott, and we can have a more in-depth conversation what's best. So thank you, everyone. Again, this was recorded. And Kevin, 5 Trumans, 2 towns, 3 condos. That's awesome. Yes,
Nice.
keep it going. You're in the niche train. Book a call with us if you want. Kevin, I know you wanted to know about the Rangeview duplexes, so reach out to us about that. Happy to speak to everyone on here. This is recorded. You will all get a recording, get information on the projects, and we will talk more. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Nish. Ramin had to run already. We'll talk to everyone soon. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful night.
Bye, everyone. Take care.